Dear parents, I just wanted to quickly run through the options that we now have available for international music exams, so as to help you come to a decision as to what you want to do with your children. So, why do we do international exams? Well, lots of reasons, but basically they benchmark our learning, the children's learning, to internationally recognized standards. And they also give the children a sense of purpose. They have something that they're aiming for. It's nice for you to know from an external, independent body that their learning is, sort of on track. And when they are at the higher grades, the results are actually can be converted into points, which can be used either to be exempt from certain exams or can help with admission requirements to higher institutions. There are different types of exams. We've got graded exams for practical, we've got graded theory exams, and you have practical performance exams. The graded practical exams and the performance practical performance exams are both instrumental based. However, for the graded practical exams, there usually is a technical element to it, so they may have to learn to play scales or a certain type of technical exercise provided by the exam board. The graded theory exams are all written, there is no playing involved, and this is to test the children's understanding of theoretical concepts. And then the practical performance exams are also, as I said, on an instrument, but this time it is all about performing. There are no technical exercises involved. Exam formats are in person, as it was in the good old days. You can have digital recorded exams, you have live streamed exams, and then for theory, you have the option to take the theory exams digitally as well. Pre-COVID, all exams were in person. You had to go to an approved centre. The dates were fixed and inflexible because they had to fly in the examiners to come take the exams. The syllabus was quite restricted. The frequency depended on location. So, for example, in the UK, the in-person exams are held 4 times a year, twice a year in South Africa, and once a year in Nigeria. And then the results could take, they say, between 2 to 6 weeks. It's been known to take 3-4 months to arrive to Nigeria. With COVID, a lot of exam boards now have online options. Some exam boards have even scrapped in-person exams for lower grades, so they will no longer going forward offer in-person exams for the lower grade, even once the pandemic is over and done with. Exams can now be taken at home or in a centre. There's a lot more flexibility around the dates and the timings of the exams, a huge choice in terms of repertoire. The results are quicker to get back to us, and there's a huge choice now in terms of providers and styles of exams because they're now online and the exam boards do not have to worry about flying people across the world. So we're going to look at the University of West of London, and they run the London College of Music exams. They say they're the longest established exam board for the creative arts in the UK, founded in 1877. They're the only exam board that are part of the University of West London. And they offer 2 formats for their digital exams. You record a video and send it in, or you do it real time with like a Zoom call, but on a secure platform. And there's a qualified examiner at the other end of the screen, live, giving instructions and watching the exams. So it's very similar to a face-to-face exam, only that the instructor could be hundreds of thousands of miles away. And these are the disciplines that they offer exams in. They do jazz exams. They have early learning exams, which are quite interesting for 3 to 6 year olds. And they offer the instruments that you can see on the screen. For the digital exams, there's a lot of creativity and innovation in this space. So I won't be surprised if this list is already out of date because they're rolling out new exams all the time. All the exam boards are. The Associated Board of the Royal Schools of Music is a baby compared to to the LCM. They're only 2 years younger, but they are a partnership of five music exam boards in the UK, and they introduced performance grades for UK uh, candidates in 2020, and they've now extended that globally. And they have had, actually, this is out of date already. They do now offer some jazz exams as well as the classical exams, and they also offer theory exams online. Now, their disciplines are huge. They offer pretty much all the classical instruments, and as I say, now they are sort of adding jazz to their repertoire as well. Rock School, much younger. They were founded in 1991, and they are the world's first graded exam syllabus for popular music. So, Rock School will do your contemporary style music exams, and they have performance exams and graded exams, as I explained earlier. And this is what they offer in terms of music at the moment, but they also have a whole heap of awards for performing arts. So they've got theatre, musical theatre awards, they've got drama, they've got all sorts of different awards aside from music. So they're very broad. The Music Teachers Board is a relatively young exam board created by teachers for teachers. That is their tagline. They offer graded exams from grade 1 to 8 across 25 instruments, and they accept audio um, submissions for their exams as well as video via their app. They are regulated by Ofqual in the UK, the Office of Qualifications. I must say that all the exam boards that we're looking at today are all recognized and regulated by Ofqual. And so they all give you the same equivalent level of recognition for your exams. The exams for the Music Teachers Board can be taken anywhere. They do not use booking periods or waiting. There's no waiting required. You just turn on the app, record, and send. They're unique. They claim that their exams are only marked by instrument specialists. So for the ABRSM, for example, you could have an experienced oboe teacher, for example, marking lots of different instruments, the piano exam, the violin, the flute, etc. Music Teachers Board ensure that exams are only marked by people who actually play the instrument. They have quite a wide range of disciplines that they cover, as you can see on here, and they have both contemporary and classical repertoire. The International School of Musicians are, again, quite young. They are affiliated or accredited by the University of West London. They are unique in that all their learning materials for the exams are provided free of charge on the website. So you do not have to purchase a booklet. Unlike all the other exam boards, you have to purchase a booklet. The International School of Musicians provide the exam material completely free of charge. They also provide assessments from pre-grade through to grade 8, like all the others. And their exam platform, their app, is also used by the London College of Music for their exams. And these are the disciplines that you can take exams in with the International School of Musicians. Okay, now in terms of how the different boards compare, I've put LCM and ISOM together because ISOM is kind of linked to LCM and they are sort of affiliated, so just put them in the same group. So all the exam boards offer classical repertoire for their exams. So you can sit classical music style exams with them. Not all of them offer jazz. So LCM offer jazz, ABRSM does some. The Music Teachers Board and the Rock School do not at the moment. For contemporary, all of them do except ABRSM. ABRSM doesn't do contemporary music exams, so you couldn't use your pop songs in your exams with the ABRSM, but you can for the other boards. They all have pre-grades before grade 1, and they also offer grades 1 to 8. And all of them have their grades 6 to 8 accredited by Ofqual in the UK. And in terms of the exam structure, um, all of them except ABRSM offer both graded or performance exams virtually. ABRSM will only do the graded exams in person. So that means that when you sit the ABRSM exams, you can only deliver the performance only option. You do not have the option to do technical exercises. In terms of number of pieces required, for the music teachers board, you need 3 pieces for the graded exams or 4 for the performance. So the 4 for the performance will give you all the scores you need, the whole 100 scores that you need for to complete the exam. And it's pretty much the same for the London College of Music, the ISOM, and Rock School. They all will accept 3 pieces for the graded exams, or in the case of LCM and Rock School, 5 pieces for the performance only exams. So you've got a choice there. Like I say, ABRSM don't require technique because there's performance only, but the others that do graded exams, they do require technique. The music teachers board is a higher score for the technical exercises than the other 2. They have other criteria. So for the music teachers board, you also have a musicianship element, which requires you to read rhythm, and there's an element of sight reading, and I forget what the other thing is. Forgive me. That comes under this criteria. There's 2 things there. ABRSM is performance only, so there's no other criteria except that they will give you 30 marks for the fullness of your performance. So you're going to perform 4 pieces, and the maximum you can get there is 120, but out of 150. So the remaining 30 marks come out of how well you have put together your pieces, the kind of pieces that you chose. Do they deliver a nice performance for the listener? So 30 marks, which I think is quite heavy, weighs on that criteria. The London College of Music will have a discussion element. They will ask you some questions that you need to answer based on preset areas. And then Rock School, if you go for the performance exam, there's an extra 40 marks that are distributed across your grade, added to your grade, or if you did just the graded exams. So in terms of the grade boundaries, for the Music Teachers Board and Rock School, you need 60 to pass as a minimum. The minimum pass rate for London College of Music is 65, for ABRSM is 100. You need 75 for the Music Teachers Board for merit, 120 for ABRSM, 75 for the London College of Music, and 74 for Rock School. And for distinction, you need 87 with the Music Teachers Board, 130 for ABRSM, 85 for LCM, and 90 for Rock School. In terms of the exam format, they're all recorded. They all have a special app, a special portal that you record and upload to. It has to be one recording, no pausing, no stopping in between. And there is a time constraint. I think it's for the Music Teachers Board, that you have, within which you have to have finished your performance. So the exams are timed in that way. Music Teachers Board don't offer online theory exams, for the ABRSM and LCM do for classical theory, and Rock School offers popular music theory exams. So how do we approach music exams at KMC? Well, we believe strongly in the power of music exams to validate our learning, not to direct it. We do not subscribe to children being tortured by learning just 3 exam pieces for an entire year or 2 because they're preparing for exams. So we believe that if they're preparing for music exams, they need to run in parallel to everything else that you're learning. The music exam is about 10 to 15 minutes, and there's so much more that you could be learning that is not captured in the exams. And so we continue to run our regular curriculum alongside the exam syllabus when the children get to that stage. Criteria for entry, and before we even put an exam syllabus in front of your children, we need to be sure that they have a suitable instrument on which to practice at home. For those who are on a piano, wanting to take piano exams, that means you need to have 88 keys on your instrument. They need to be full size and they need to be weighted. And so if you don't have that, and obviously you need your pedals as well. So if you don't have that at home, we're not even going to start exam preparation because um, there's no way that the children can learn the skills that they need on an instrument that doesn't have the right teachers. And so you must have the right teachers. If it's a guitar, it has to be the right size guitar, etc. Um, Also, the children will need to have earned a Music Challenge Award in the term prior to starting to learn exam repertoire. And so it's important that they would have achieved at least a bronze, preferably silver or gold, um, in the term before we start preparing them for exams. They also need to be on a method book that is at an equivalent level to the grade that is being considered. So if, for example, they're looking at maybe taking a grade one exam, they need to be working at a grade one method book. Otherwise, it's going to be too difficult and it's going to be a very frustrating experience for everyone. Now, so that's prior to exam preparation. So once we are comfortable that these three criteria have been met, we will then begin to work on the exam pieces alongside the regular pieces that they're learning from their method books. And then before we then book them in for an exam, we need to ensure that the children have maintained a practice streak for at least 30 consecutive days before we even put the names down for an exam. Because it's important that they are consistent with their practice in order that the valuable teaching that they're getting isn't, sort of being lost and forgotten through lack of practice. So that needs to be in place. They are more likely to succeed if they're practicing regularly. They also need to have earned at least a bronze award for repertoire at the requisite level. So if they're going into a grade one exam, I'm expecting that they would have earned a bronze award for 20 pieces at grade one standard before we put them forward for the exam. They also need to be secure in the knowledge of the requisite technical and supplementary exercises that will be required in the exam. They need to be fluent in those. And they also need to be able to play all exam pieces to a consistently high standard. So once these are in place and we're confident that they're going to go in and they're going to do well, we then put them forward for the actual exam entry. So in a nutshell, that is how the exams run. We have put in video recordings from YouTube for the different exam boards, for the London College of Music explaining how the recorded exams work, and also for the ABRSM explaining the difference between their new performance grades and what they were offering before. And so we hope you find this helpful. And obviously, there's going to be lots of questions, but this just helps you understand our approach to music exams. And as and when we feel that your children are getting to the stage where they're going to be ready, we let you know. And we think about which of the different exam boards will make sense depending on their interests and on the instrument that they're playing, and on your own desires as well, for them as parents. And then we take it from there. So it is a long journey. It is, it can be challenging, and we are here to support you, and we're here to work alongside you, and to help make the most of the opportunities that your children will have. Thank you for your time.